this video, we discuss Usha Jesudasan's Justice versus Mercy. Here is a brief introduction. Usha Jesudasan is a freelance writer who writes inspirational articles and books. Justice versus Mercy is a short essay that deals with two opposed concepts of justice and mercy. Justice and mercy is a two contradictory, opposing ideas. Using the story of Jean Valjean, this is a French name, Jean Valjean. Sometimes in English people say Jean Valjean. Jean Valjean, Jesudasan juxtaposes, she puts places side by side, juxtaposes both the concepts, the justice and mercy, to expose the fault lines between them, between these two ideas, justice and mercy. She also tries to show that sticking blindly to justice might be tantamount to, might be equal to being merciless, and showing mercy might unsettle our conventionally received ideas of justice, our conventional concepts of justice. So mercy is opposed to justice and justice is opposed to mercy. So how can we bring these two together? This is the point. This story of Jean Valjean, it is contained in the famous classic novel by the famous French writer Victor Hugo, or Victor Hugo for the purpose of spelling. We can pronounce it Victor Hugo, his famous classic novel, Les Miserables. Not Les Miserables, but Les Miserables. It was first published in 1862. It is considered, Les Miserables is considered as one of the greatest novels of the 19th century. So here is summary of the first section, justice versus mercy. Justice and mercy are two concerns and challenges of everyday society, which has been analyzed in life as well as literature. The writer examines the story of Victor Hugo's classic novel, Les Miserables, because it gives us an opportunity to think about the concepts of justice and mercy. Jean Valjean, a young unemployed peasant, he stole a loaf of bread to feed his sister and her seven starving children, for which he was given a punishment. He was imprisoned. He was given imprisonment for 19 long years, for stealing a loaf of bread. He becomes angry. Jean Valjean becomes very angry. He becomes very angry about the unjust circumstances. He finally escapes and goes to a bishop who gives him food and shelter for the night. But at night, he couldn't sleep. He starts thinking. He thinks about the circumstances, the situations, how he happened to be poor, and things like that. He becomes very angry. And in a fit of anger, he steals some silver candlesticks from the bishop's house and gets caught by the police. But to his surprise, the bishop forgives him. This one act of mercy on the part of the bishop, one act of mercy and forgiveness by the bishop, transforms, completely changes Jean Valjean, transforms him onto a new life. Jean Valjean becomes a new man, works hard, and eventually becomes a respectable mayor. That's section number one. Here is section number two. Javert Well, the policeman who has been trying to arrest Jean Valjean, Javert, the policeman, knew that Jean Valjean was guilty, but he could not prove it, as Bishop was supporting him. Valjean put on various identities as a hunted man and lives a very, very tormented life, full of fear and uncertainty. Javert was a man of stark morale. Well, in the story, Valjean would have murdered Javert for pursuing him with vengeance, but it was Bishop's mercy that transformed him. That is the miracle. That is the miracle that forgiveness and mercy work on an individual. Usha Jesudasan concludes the essay with a harsh reality that the conflict between justice and mercy occurs again and again in contemporary world, in our everyday life. Often, it is the innocent victims of social and economic justice who have justice harshly pinned down on them, while the real culprits, the rich, the elite, the real culprits, they go scotch-free because of power, fame, and wealth. Well, let's take up the short answer questions. Question number 1. Why did Jean Valjean steal a loaf of bread? We know the answer, don't we? Jean Valjean, a young unemployed peasant. He was unemployed, he was a peasant, an ordinary man. He stole a loaf of bread. What for? To feed his sister and her 7 starving children. That's the answer. Question number 2. Why did Jean Valjean steal the bishop's silver candlestick? Jean Valjean escaped from prison, where he had been given 19 years of imprisonment. He was angry and frustrated at society and filled with hate for those who are privileged. In a fit of fury, he stole the bishop's silver candlestick and ran away. Question number 3. Why did Jean Valjean decide to spare the life of Javert? Valjean remembered Bishop's mercy on him and decided to spare Javert, the policeman. Question number 4. Why do you think Javert decides to die? Well, at the end of the novel, Les Miserables, well, Javert commits suicide. Javert did not want mercy from a thief. Oh, that's the point. A policeman does not want mercy from a thief whom he had previously caught for theft. He had a high sense of pride and was unable to see the relationship between justice and mercy. So these are the short answer questions. Now we come to the paragraph questions. Question number 1. How does the bishop effect a transformation in the character of Jean Valjean? Victor Hugo's classic novel, Les Miserables, portrays the incredible change that a single act of kindness can bring about in a person's life. Jean Valjean stole a loaf of bread to feed his sister and her 7 starving children. Subsequently, he was arrested and imprisoned. Later, he escaped from the prison. Valjean was given shelter by a bishop at his house. Feeling angry, in a fit of anger, fury, Valjean stole some silver candlesticks from the bishop's house at night. When he was caught by the police, the bishop saves him by covering up his crime. Well, the bishop says, he didn't steal the candlesticks. It is my gift. By this act of mercy on the part of the bishop, Valjean turned his life around and became a nobleman. Finally, he became the mayor of a town. By hard work, by sheer hard work, he becomes the mayor of a town. And he truly redeemed himself, he saved himself, he transformed himself and showed the world that man can change. Question number 2. Javert, the policeman, as a prototype of justice, as an embodiment of justice. Javert is a policeman who strictly believes in the rules of law. Nothing can stop him from enforcing the harsh penal codes. He is incapable of compassion or pity. Compassion, pity, sympathy, mercy, it has nothing, it has no place in his mind. He performs his duty with such passion that he takes on a nearly animal quality when he is on the chase, when he is trying to chase a criminal, a thief. Well, he has a brute force, an animal quality. He displays a strong compulsion to recapture Valjean, who escapes and lives happily. He takes it as an affront to justice. Oh, it's an insult. If a thief is not arrested, if a criminal is not arrested, it is an insult. It is an insult to humanity. It's an affront to justice. Ultimately, Javert is unable to say with certainty that Valjean deserves to be punished. Well, he was confused, because whether to punish him or to let him go scot-free, well, he was confused. This confusion shakes the system of belief that Javert bases his life upon. It also, that confusion also forces him to choose between hypocrisy and honor. Well, he chooses the path of honor and he commits suicide. Question number 3, paragraph question number 3. How did Javert's safe world of rules crumble down? His safe world of rules, the system of rules, the system that he believes in, it crumbles down. A narrow-minded police officer, Javert is completely focused on upholding the law and punishing every kind of criminal activity. He does not believe that one can reform oneself from a criminal background. Well, the policeman believes that a criminal will never change. He pursues Valjean relentlessly, waiting for him to take a wrong step. He is waiting for Valjean to commit a mistake, to arrest him. Javert is devoid of mercy. He will do what is right and holds himself to the same strict standard. He is a very, very strict policeman. He does not know the meaning of mercy, either for himself or others. He has taken the law as the good and cannot accept that the law does not always work perfectly or is not always fair. He doesn't believe that, the law cannot always work perfectly. He doesn't believe that the law is not always fair. His world, Javert's world, turns upside down when Jean Valjean saves him from being killed by a gang of French rebels. After Valjean has let Javert go, well, the latter turns around. This single act breaks Javert's moral code and destroys his sense of right and wrong. That's why finally he commits suicide. So these are the paragraph questions. And now here is an essay based on this chapter. Look at the question, the essay question. Justice versus mercy exposes that justice and mercy, the twin concepts hailed by humanity, well, justice, something great. Mercy, oh, greater. So it is hailed by humanity, are antithetical. They are opposed to each other and contradictory. Discuss. So here is the first paragraph. the introductory paragraph. Justice versus Mercy is a short essay that dwells on the twin yet opposed concepts of justice and mercy. Using the story of Jean Valjean, Usha Jesudasan juxtaposes, keeps side by side, juxtapose both the concepts, justice and mercy, to expose the fault lines between them. She tries to show that clinging blindly to justice, sticking on to justice, might be tantamount to, might be equal to being merciless. Also, showing mercy might unsettle our conventionally received ideas of justice. Paragraph number 2. The convict, Jean Valjean, is released from a French prison after serving 19 years for stealing a loaf of bread and for subsequent attempts to escape from prison. When Valjean arrives at the town, no one is willing to give him shelter because he is an ex-convict. Desperate, Valjean knocks on the door of the bishop, who treats Valjean with kindness. Valjean repays the bishop. He repays it. Well, the bishop gives him shelter, and at night, well, he couldn't sleep. He was thinking about, his mind was full. He was thinking about the situations, his own, who is responsible for my situation? I am a poor man. I have no money. He was thinking, and he became very angry at the society, in a fit of fury. So, desperate, Valjean knocks on the door of the bishop and who treats him with kindness. And Valjean repays. How does he repay? He repays the bishop by stealing his silverware, the silver candlesticks. When the police arrest Valjean, the bishop covers for him, claiming that the silverware was a gift. The authorities release Valjean, and the bishop makes him promise to become an honest man. Eager to fulfill his promise, Valjean masks his identity. He puts on a disguise and enters another town. He goes to another town under an assumed name. So he has a different name. Valjean invents a clever manufacturing process that brings prosperity to the town. And eventually, finally, he becomes the town's mayor. And here's the third paragraph. Javert, the policeman who arrested him for stealing the bishop's silver, was not convinced of Valjean's innocence. He knew, Javert, the policeman, knew that Valjean was guilty, but could not prove it. Why not? Because as the bishop covered up for Valjean, many years later, Javert comes across Valjean again. But this time, he is the mayor. He is the mayor of a town. Javert, he exposes Valjean as an ex-criminal, a thief, and one who escaped from prison to avoid the hands of justice. So he tells everybody that your mayor is an ex-convict. Valjean runs away before Javert can take him back to prison. For the rest of the story, well, Javert pursues Valjean to make him pay for his theft. Valjean has to hide and assumes different identities as a hunted man because the policeman is chasing him. The relationship between Javert and Valjean develops as a binary opposition, two opposed ideas between justice and mercy. Javert's struggle against this dichotomy, these two opposing ideas, leads to his eventual suicide because there was a confusion in his mind. Well, he could not implement justice. Well, he could not establish justice. He could not see that justice was done. So he was confused and he committed suicide. And here is the last paragraph in Les Miserables, the novel. Hugo, that is Hugo in English. Hugo asserts that love and compassion are the most important gifts one person can give another. Displaying these qualities, justice and mercy, always should be the most important goal in life. Valjean's transformation, his complete change into an honest man, from a hate-filled and a hardened criminal into a well-respected philanthropist, he became a lover of mankind. Epitomizes, it is the best example, epitomizes Hugo's emphasis on love. It is only by learning to love others that Valjean is able to improve himself. Valjean's efforts on behalf of others cause him problems, but they also give him a sense of happiness and fulfillment that he has never before felt. Valjean's love for others in particular is what keeps him going in desperate times. So that's it. Thank you very much.